right? So the first one we have is angle-angle similarity, right? So this says that if two angles of a triangle are congruent, right? Then the two angles of another triangle, those triangles are similar. Right? So if you have two triangles and you can say that they're two pairs of angles are congruent, you can say they're similar. Right? So we could write a similarity statement and say that triangle RST similar to triangle, and then how would I have to name the second one?
It would be
LMP, right? So angle, probably the easiest one to check, right? Just looking for two congruent angles. So side angle side, right? Says if I have an angle of one triangle is congruent to an angle of the second triangle, and the sides that include the two angles, right? So they need to have the included sides are proportional. Then the triangles are similar. Okay. So I have this idea that I have to take and set up a proportion and make sure they're equal, right? So like AB over QR has to be equal to AC over QS, right? I have to do the sides that are included in those that angle includes. And then those two angles are congruent. So we can say that ABC is similar to triangle QRS. Okay. Last one we have is side similarity. So if the corresponding sides of two triangles are proportional, then they're going to be similar. All right. So I'd have to have like AB over RQ be equal to BC over RS, and that's equal to AC over QS. Then ABC and QRS are similar. If I want to look at if two triangles are similar, all right, first thing I want you to do is look at and see which one of those three that we just talked about could you possibly use. So what's the only one that I can use here with this first set of triangles? Side angle, side, right? So I've got my two congruent angles, so I'm good there. Now I want to check if the sides are proportional. So here they don't tell us a name, so how am I going to know what side is proportional to or corresponds to 3 in QRS? What about the number side? Yes. But how do I know if it's going to be 9 or 12 that corresponds to 3?
The angle. Like QR.
Nope, can't use the angle. I could have reflected the shape. What, Trenton?
Exactly.
Right? What we did yesterday.
So sort of, but how would I know if it's 3 over 9 or 3 over 12?
You take the small one.
Corresponding sides, which I know because I take the smallest side, right? So what Bryce said, I'm looking at because 3 is the smaller of the two, right? I'm going to use 9 because that's the smaller of the two over there. Even when I scale things, right, whether I'm scaling up or down, those kind of side lengths are still going to be smallest, middle, big, or whatever it is, right? So that's how I know that 3 over 9 corresponds. So that reduces to what?
1/3. That is a good 1/3.
1/3. 4 over 12, 1/3. Yep. So here I'll say yes, right? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle QRS by side angle side similarity.
8 over 12, right?
All right, so now what I look at is this next one. What's the only possible one of those three that I can use?
Side, side, side.
Side, 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 except I'm only given the sides. So I'm going to start with one and say, what's going to correspond to 6?
9.
9, right? 6 is the smallest side in STU. 9 is the smallest side in WXV. We'll do that, right? So that reduces to 2/3. So I need to check the other two
10
sides.
would be 12.
So 8,
10 would be 15.
8 over 12, right? Does that reduce to 2/3?
Yeah.
Yep. 10 over 15.
Yep.
Boom.
So I was still going to say yes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I look at naming this, right? Say I say triangle STU. Similar to triangle. How am I going to know where to start if I started at S?
X.
Why X?
Because ST, that line you put over XV.
Okay, so what Bryce is saying is that's how we kind of set up our proportion, right? Here's what I look at and say, another way you could look at it, is say S is included between the longest side and the shortest side, right? X is included between the longest side and the shortest side. So now I have X, right? And I got to figure out which way around do I go? So I went S to T, so I went down the short side, right? So I'm going to go X to V to W, by side, 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 similarity.